You know, they just wrapped up that candlelight vigil where they not only had the families of the 21 victims, but also survivors from both classroom 111 and 112. You can imagine the entire crowd back here at the amphitheater was just completely moved by every single musical performance, spoken word, and of course, those passionate tributes about their loved ones. 2 years. It seems impossible that the days have turned to weeks, to months, and to 2 years. But the families came out here because they wanted to be sure their loved ones' voices are heard. The lawn filled out as people showed up to remember those 21+1 and support their families. A very similar scene to last year. We heard from a number of speakers. One of them, the lone survivor of classroom 111, teacher Arnulfo Reyes. He read a poem in the honor of the 21+1.
And we must not stay in silence. Let's come together to end gun violence. Although your absence is a great loss, I will continue to fight for you and the cause.
And families of the victims are still fighting for answers. Earlier this year, a special grand jury was dedicated to investigating the mass shooting. And tonight, families of the victims gave emotional speeches, as we mentioned, on behalf of their loved ones' legacies.
The one word that does come to mind is indescribable. The pain that we feel is indescribable.
Just last week, when looking through our medicine cabinet, her big sister found a handwritten note that said, "I love you, Mom. Keep visiting us, mija. Gani, baby, Popo, Papa, Mommy, Daddy Angel, all your tias, tios, and cousins. Love and miss you so very much. Amy Jo Garza, 18 classmates, 2 hero teachers, and 1 broken-hearted husband will be forever in our lives."
I don't think it's lost on anyone, Ryan and Ashley, that this place holds so much emotion for those families because 2 years ago, right here to my right, that's where they found out that their loved ones were not coming home. That is the worst news any of us could ever imagine. And tonight they find the strength, again, to be here. Inside that building 3 days ago, we heard them speaking passionately about what they want to see in the future, what they want to be able to see happening. They've been there for city council meetings, they've been there for press conferences, and of course they were there the night their loved ones were not coming home. And so tonight, as they honor their loved ones, I hope we take a moment to remember all 21+1 victims. Of course, the +1 is Joe Garcia, the husband of teacher Irma Garcia. He died 2 days later after the massacre from a massive heart attack. And, you know, guys, they gave me this button. All of their photos are on it. I'll treasure it always because they've been so kind to us in the darkest times of their lives. And I know the emotions are high and it's a very somber occasion, but it was good to see some of them smiling tonight. So Ryan and Ashley, I know you guys, in the studio may have some idea of what's going on out here, but is there anything we can answer for you about the scene out here?
Yeah, and we understand why you're emotional. You've been there from the beginning, so a lot of times we try to separate ourselves, but in instances like this, it's obvious to see that it hits all of us as well. I wanted to ask you out there, there were 2 new lawsuits that were filed on the 2-year anniversary, which we're going to detail in just a moment. One of them against the law enforcement officers who waited 77 minutes before finally breaching the classroom. The other one filed against those companies who they say glorified gun violence. So my question is, has there been any reaction to those lawsuits? Will it help them bring justice?
You know, we didn't get a chance to talk with them one-on-one about the lawsuits per se because there are 2 different groups that are being represented with each lawsuit. So some of them, we only saw initials. So we have to kind of go of what we've been given. But I think the point that they're trying to make with these lawsuits is they want accountability, they want justice, and they want to keep fighting. That was the message we heard again a couple days ago here in the Willie De Leon Civic Center from both Jackie Cazares' father, Javier, as well as Tess Mata's father, Jerry. They said, look, just because we settled with the city doesn't mean we're stopping our fight for accountability and justice, but we also don't want to bankrupt the city that we call home. So these 2 new lawsuits, we're going to see how they play out, but one of them has been filed by the same attorney. So of course, keeping a very close eye on it all.
All right.